Why?
Like always, many platforms that have reached out to me, like even the Hollywood and African Prestigious Award
Mhm.
and many others, they they see my work online,
Mhm.
and based on the work they reach out to me, and I'm grateful for that. I had a representative from the BBC that reached out to me and said they wanted to talk about the song that I wrote, Stop Rape. And so I was very grateful and, glad to have such a huge platform to discuss the issue that matters so much to me, for the entire world to be able to listen to me, to see my point when it comes to the rape issue. So yeah, that's how it happened, and I'm still grateful up to now.
All right. What we will do for our audience here is we will play that interview, and then after that, we will ask you a few questions. So, folks, we are bringing to you the interview that was done by Ms. Menneh for you to listen, and then we will ask a few questions. Watch. Excellent. Can I just actually just wait like basically 1 minute? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just patch this code through the desk, the mixing desk, and then I'll tell Bolamosu, who's our presenter, to you. I'm just going to let her know that you are ready.
Okay, great. Sounds great.
Thank you. Thank you. Just so you know, we have Miss Menneh Smith on the line, and I'm just restarting this thing to record. But you can actually, I think you can already speak to her now. Hello, Miss Menneh, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Yes,
And what time? You're in Minneapolis, yes?
Yes, I am.
What time is it there right now?
Right now it is 8:18 a.m. in the morning.
Quite early. So thanks very much for agreeing to speak to us at this early hour. Um, but it's a subject which is very important. I wonder if you can do a favour for me, Miss Manneh, because I just want to check actually. Marco, are you recording already? Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I am.
wonderful. Okay, lovely. Miss Manneh, if you can do me a favour, please, because my computer has just crashed just as I was about to play your song. So can you sing for me a little bit of your song, please?
The rape song, or just any one of my songs?
The rape song, please.
Okay, I'll sing a little bit. The rape song. There's a cry of a little girl somewhere in Africa. There's a cry in Liberia, somewhere in Africa. Stop you hurting me. Stop you hurting me. Mama way, what play you L? Just a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's powerful enough. And with those lyrics, it really does pull on the heartstrings. And sadly, we've been hearing more of those cries, not from the girls themselves, but for people that are trying to highlight this horrible, issue, this plague that seems to be sweeping across the world, because it's not just in Africa.
Yes.
Why is it that you decided at this time, Miss Manneh, to highlight, to speak out about child rape? It's basically pedophilia and defilement of these children. Why are you speaking out about it now?
The issue of rape is is a major topic for me because I was raped as a child, and just living every day and seeing other young girls and boys being raped, it put me back into reliving that moment. And I was not able to speak up until I had some support system. So I feel like um, if we want to help the victims of rape to be able to speak up, to be able to get healing, they are going to need some support system, because it's not an easy topic to come up and speak on when you are being violated and raped. It's not easy for you to come up publicly or to even trust someone to talk to about it. But if you have that support system, you will be able to get the healing that you need.
And it's very brave of you, Miss Manneh, to share your story and be willing to speak out. If I may ask you, if it doesn't cause too much pain to remember, to recall this time, was this during the war? I mean, which we know ended in Liberia in 2003. Was it then when you were a young child, or how and when were the circumstances of your rape and defilement?
Yes, it was during the war. My parents and I went to the Ivory Coast as refugees, and my mother was very sick, and she had other young children that I had to take care of at my age. So this was someone who would help us with food and things like that. And when I got raped, my mother was seriously sick. I couldn't even talk to her about it. I never told the story till a few months ago. So yeah, it was during the war in Liberia. This was '05. I mean 2005, 95. I'm sorry. Yes, in Danane in Ivory Coast.
So this was in 1995.
Yes.
And how old were you at the time, if I may ask?
I was 15 years old. I was 15.
So you were just 15, and as you said, with your mom being so sick at the time and you not wanting to burden her with what you were going through, I just wonder, it's the same situation for, and has been for so many children in times of war, that they're exploited, they're attacked, and they find themselves without a voice and without somebody to turn to. So what made you now speak out years later, and what do you want to happen to the...
Okay, folks, we are back with you here, and thank you for staying with us here again. We are back with you, and thanks for staying with us. You just listening to a little clip of the interview that Miss Menneh had with the BBC. Like you listening to her, she said BBC called her because they listening to a song that she sang on rape, and that song, and she was able to sing a little bit of it, and man said just that little piece I listened to actually touched my heart. There's a little girl, there's a cry of a little girl somewhere there's a cry of a little girl. That somewhere might be my Liberia. That somewhere is our Africa and any part of the world. Think about that for a moment. There's a cry of a little girl somewhere, and that applies to Liberia. And recently there's a report that about 600 cases of rape have been reported in Liberia. Just between June and this month, again, about 102 cases. It is alarming. So her song Cooling be timely enough that there is this cry of that little girl somewhere, and that somewhere, I would say that somewhere is Liberia, evidenced by the number of rape cases that have been reported. Miss Menneh, as an advocate for this issue of rape, I know it breaks your heart all the time. And when that happens, what goes through your mind and what do you hope to see?
Yeah, I don't. I don't even want to share what go through my mind because I know I get so emotional every single time about this. And but really, what I would like to see happen in Liberia, to be specific, would be for the government in collaboration with all the other NGOs that are fighting against the same rape should be able to come together and come up with some kind of plan system. I don't know, something that going to support these victims. Somewhere they will be able to go to get healing. Somewhere they'll be able to be rehabilitated. Someone, because even me, I keep telling, even me as a survivor, because I don't see myself as a victim anymore,
Mhm.
but as a survivor, I still hurt every day. Like I was telling a sister the other day, Hawa, I was like, I don't know if you can ever really fully heal from that pain. I don't know if you can do that. So it would be good to have some kind of support system set up in Liberia where these women, these young girls, these boys can go and have counseling and have people to lean on so that they will know that there are people that are supporting them emotionally. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. And every single time I hear that someone, a little girl being raped, boys or women being raped, I break down, I cry every time my sis Miata is on the phone here. Sometimes she don't even want to send me because I'm not on social media much. Sometimes she don't want me to know about the story because it's going to tear me apart. So it would be good to have that support system, support. Me that know myself as a public figure, I was not able to speak up until I saw someone else who were brave enough to tell their story. That gave me hope. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that tells me that everybody needs support system to be able to start their healing process.
And talking about healing process, where in your opinion should we start talking about victim? I mean, should it be that they should come out and speak out to somebody that they trust? Is that how the healing process starts?
Yes, I believe it should be, we should have that platform where they know that they can trust this platform. That I
Mhm.
can go to this place, I can trust these people
Mhm.
to sit with someone that care for me to tell them my story so they can help me. Because as a rape victim, you don't just talk about it unless you are able to, first of all, trust that person. So if we have that platform where we have trusted people, that these people can feel safe enough to go and tell their story, because until you can tell this story over and over and again,
Mhm.
you are not going to be able to even start your healing process, not to talk about being healed. You have to be able to talk about it. And by other people coming up and talking about it, it will also encourage other victims to say, oh, you know what? If this person can talk about their story to this person and they listen to them and help them, I think I can go up and do the same.
Mhm. And you're talking about you want to see a platform, and I know by that maybe the platform can be a place, maybe it can be an organization that have a facility, right? I think that's something that you're talking about. And
Yes.
so if who do you want to see establish this, and who all do you want to see contributing to it, and what are the things you want to see there?
I personally think that because like for some of us, the platforms that we have is not big enough to help everybody.
Right.
So I feel like it should be the government of Liberia that can set up a platform like that, like a facility like that for rape victims.
Mhm.
Just like back, I know during the war, because I went through the entire war in Liberia throughout till the disarmament process. I know they had places set up where we will rehabilitate children and reconnect them with their family. They could do something like that. and also having a system in place to prosecute these people that are raping, so that you, at least if you see that this person has been punished good enough for what they did to you, that will also help. But many times people take sorry. Somebody raped an 11-year-old child, 5 months old babies, and then they say sorry, and then you let them walk away, you know? So if they should have system in place to be able to prosecute these people, and also a platform to be able to start like healing process for these victims.
Thank you. And talking about setting other place again, can you use the opportunity to call on maybe other humanitarians, right? Um, because my sense here is that maybe if it is the government, I'm not saying government can't do something. It's government responsibility. That's why they have the general ministry, right,
Mhm,
for women and children protection.
mhm.
So, but can we have other institutions? I don't know what the United Nations is doing. I'm just trying to say, do you also want to see other private individuals or private organizations, putting this place also in place that victims can go and be secure, because sometimes the victim tend to not trust the government because of the history, that
Yeah,
there, is where the government official, nothing comes out of it, or the person is connected to the government, nothing comes out of it.
yeah, and that's why I said earlier, we all are trying. Like for me, I do this
Mhm.
behind closed door, but my
Okay.
platform is only big enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if it'll be good to see a collaborative effort that people, different NGOs can come together and do that.
Mhm.
But I feel like if the government is stepping in, it will be something that will be able to cover up the entire country. Um, Everybody, we all are responsible. You know what I mean? We all are responsible to do our part.
Mhm.
But as an individual, I can only do so much. So if we can all come together, including the government, to have a system in place, that would be, in my opinion, the best way to do it.
Hmm. Thank you again, folks in cyberspace. You are watching Focus on Liberia. We are having an exclusive interview with Ms. Menneh. We're talking about rape and her BBC interview. In your interview with BBC, one of the things you want to see is punishment for perpetrators. But
Yes.
you said you would like to see them being castrated. Do you still stand by that? I know this is coming from, how you feel strongly about this, but do you still stand by that?
I strongly stand by that. I've
Mhm.
said this in a couple of other interviews, and I really feel like they should be castrated. They should be castrated and proceed with whatever as punishment that they have for them.
Wow. All right. Thank you. Then on the rape cases, being a man, and Liberia also being this highly godly people we continue to claim, but our pastors are involved in this. So it's like there's no one to trust. The pastors are involved, the government officials are involved, uncles are involved, fathers are involved.
Yes, that's very sad and sickening. Very sad and sickening. Yeah, and that's why I said that we should have a trusted platform, um, somewhere people will feel safe, because to the point where, and it always been like that, because I know in many cases in Liberia, if you got raped as a teenager or younger, even down to your mother, or they will say, oh, They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to bring shame to the family. So they cover that up and hide that under the rug. So most often that little girl won't talk about it, or little boy, they won't talk about it. They just let it go and hold all that in. So if they have somewhere that they can trust people at, somewhere they can feel safe at, to go to talk to people, um, that would be good. Because I last week or so I heard that a father raped his own daughter. Like I don't know.
And
I don't
and
know.
talking about people trying to cover it up, I want to know what you make of that, and what message do you have for mothers who have, you know, handled this matter in this manner. I just read an article today on Front Page Africa about this Emmanuel, I think Emmanuel Bala. He works with Ashila Mintar in Buchanan. He's one of the drivers. And he raped a 15-year-old girl. He admitted, but the mother, when her daughter told her, decided that she's gonna tell, make the public to know. Despite this man pleading with her, is that something you will encourage all mothers and all sisters and all girls to do? That when this thing happened, it should not be compromised because of whether the person is a family to you. You think that will go a long way?
Yes, I really think that everybody, like I said, we all should be responsible for reporting these cases, whether you are mother, sister, father, uncle. We should all be responsible to report these cases. Do not sit back on it. Do not take money. Like, report the case, because these people have to be identified in our society, so that they can the law can deal with them the way they're supposed to deal with them. You cannot hide that under the rug. Then they will do it to the next little girl or the next little boy. So please, that's my plea to parents, to family members. Please report these cases.
All right, thank you. Let us transition a little bit. You yourself, in your BBC interview, you disclosed that you yourself had the experience,
Mhm.
but now you don't see yourself as a victim, but you see yourself as a survivor. Uh, my question is, where did you gain that strength from to say, you know what? I think I'm a survivor and I'm not going to play victim. And then you transition to be of help to victims. Where did you get that strength from?
Well, many of us are built to rise above situation,
Mhm.
and not everyone is built that way. Most of the healing that I got is pretty much self healing. Just me sitting back and saying that, I want change. I want change for myself and for other people out there. So
Mhm.
it was pretty much self healing, and keeping a positive mind, keeping myself around positive people. So I was able to go through that change by just sitting back and thinking about what do I want, for my life and for other people out there. But again, not everyone is going to be able to do that. And that's why, for those people who cannot go past that day, they need someone that they can lean on. They need someone they can trust. Someone that can talk to them to help them with their healing process.
Thank you so much. Then we also are aware that you are, you know, a cultural actress, if I can put it that way. And despite your experience, you have overcome and you are doing this great work. How it all started, and as you speak, I will show some pictures on the screen for our viewers to see. how this all started, where you gain this passion from.
Well, growing up in Liberia, I've just been someone who loved the Liberian culture. At like vacation, I'll go to the village with my mother, and I enjoy just going in the bushes, going fishing, going looking for snails, just playing, learning the moonlight songs. Those are things that made me really happy. So, and me being like music being my safe haven, I decided to bring the culture and tradition into it because I realized that during the war, many of us went exile, never came back, and most of us around that age started having children. So we had a lot of lost Liberians who don't know how beautiful and rich our Liberian culture and tradition is. So I felt like me living that life every day, putting it into my music, just the things that I stand for, my values, putting the Liberian culture and tradition into it will help other people out there that left Liberia years ago that was not able to experience the beautiful and rich culture that we have. Their children and everything else. So the reason I do what I do is to showcase that culture to the rest of the world and Liberians that left Liberia long ago that was not able to experience the culture.
That is very, very nice. And you talk about you used to go fishing. I am the son of a fisherman,
Oh
and
wow.
I grew up in a village. I
Mhm.
Yeah, I caught wood, I caught palm nut,
Oh yeah,
and
yes,
so
everything.
your music, your work are things that I watch all the time. Especially when you go in the interior to do a song and you
Hmm.
see the culture being displayed. I see the young people. I just
Hmm.
love that certain, it just reminds me of, who I am and how far I have come. But your work is mainly about, there is something they call soft power. Soft
Hmm.
power is using your culture, uh, be it arts, uh, to introduce your country to the world, to attract
Yes,
them, the richness of your culture, and you are showing
yes.
it. That's what they call a soft power. Like, for example, the Indian movie, you see the display, and that
Hmm.
is what you are doing. And somebody wrote a comment here that you are an ambassador, and the person couldn't be spot on. I think it's Mianta who said that. And so my question here is, as an ambassador representing Liberia, I know there's this pressure on you that there shouldn't be any drama, because you
Hmm.
may think that you're building your own image, but you are building the image of a country. Where is she from? Do you feel that pressure, and how are you managing it?
Well, a good thing is that naturally, me as a person,
Mhm,
I'm very calm and relaxed.
mhm,
Drama is not something that is part of my personality.
mhm. Check your M. I can't hear you. You automatically went on mute. Unmute yourself, please. Miss, you went mute. Unmute yourself. Fine. You're good now. Continue.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes, I was saying like me as a person, naturally, um, I'm very calm and relaxed, and I don't just speak on issues. Normally, when people come to me with drama, what I do is I sit back. I always tell my sister, if someone attack me, there have to be a reason why they will attack me, right? So I usually like to sit back and try to figure out what's going on with them
Hmm.
because they could be having some issues. I always tell myself there's always some kind of underlying problem with whoever that comes to attack me. So that's how I'm able to keep myself drama free and things like that because I'm more worried about them. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what is going on with them? I feel like there's something that may have caused them to do this. But, we are all human. Yes, I do get upset. But I pray every day that, it shouldn't get to the point where I go out of character. And I think it just, um, you being aware of who you are, what you want, and where you are heading. And that will keep you out of all this Facebook or whatever drama.
Wow. Thank you for saying that. So the work that you do, um, I know you get a lot of calls, so much. What is that question that people always ask you? What is that question that people always ask you? Is it that why are you doing this? What you hope to get in this? You know?
Well, most people are usually very appreciative when they call me.
Mhm,
First of all, when they see some of my work or hear some of my song, they expect to speak to an older person.
mhm.
And then sometime when they see me in person, they just like, oh, really, you did this song? I know it was on many occasions that when I did Zomo that I was denied in a couple of places that I didn't do the song and things like that. But yeah, many people are always like, thank you, for reminding me about who I am, my culture, and things like that. I have not seen like people that give me a negative feedback yet. Maybe it might be like with a dress code or something like that, but very few.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question. We men, we tend to be crazy,
Hmm.
and part of your work is to show our culture,
Hmm.
and that also means you have to show the elegance of the woman. All
Hmm.
right, that is cultural. And
Yes.
there are some men that may be attracted to that. Have you
Hmm.
had a situation where a man calls and try to say something on the contrary that, given your background, they should not be telling you, and how have you been able to deal with that?
Yeah, a lot of people actually, a lot of them were called or
You're going to mute again, Miss Menneh. You're going to mute again. You're going to mute again. Unmute yourself at your end. Miss Menneh, you're going to mute again. Unmute yourself, please. All right, so you can answer the question now. They didn't hear what you said.
I was saying
Mhm,
there's a lot of people who come across that way,
mhm.
but especially for Liberian men.
Yeah.
And most of the time when they do that, um, like I said once again, I don't feel offended because that tells me that they do not know their African history. They don't know their own culture. They don't know their traditions.
Mhm,
Because as an African woman, the body, is supposed to be shown out because it's beautiful,
mhm,
and if we look back in history and see pictures and read about our history, you will know how the African woman is supposed to dress. And I don't pay them no mind. My job here is to showcase that beautiful culture and tradition to the rest of the world. So, I try to educate them instead.
All right. I'm going to show a picture here on the screen if you can look there. Um, I got this from Google Images, And this is a display of culture um, by most of them are females.
Mhm.
I can only recognize is a lady who I believe to be a Nigerian because I've seen her in a Nigerian movie, and she's right there representing her country. And most of the other faces I see look Indian, and so these are people representing their respective country or culture, and this is something that you are doing for Liberia. It is important. Again, I said something called soft power because of this display of these people cultural richness. Somebody might want to travel to that country to see the
Yep.
culture, and that person will be carrying money, and that is your work, isn't it?
Yes, because I like even I tell people if we show, because you know sometimes we are so hard and negative on ourselves and forget to know that
Mhm,
there are beauties in Liberia. There
mhm,
are places that are priceless. There are Liberian people. Honestly, we are good people. Liberian people are good people, but we intend to not see the good in us. We
mhm,
always want to talk about the negativity.
mhm.
And for me, I like to talk about the good
Okay.
we have in Liberia. Liberia has a lot of beautiful places, a lot of beautiful women, and women. The woman body is an artwork by itself. And Liberia had one of the most beautiful women in the world. So that's why I do not listen to people like that. I continue to do the job I signed up for is to show the beauty of Liberia.
One thing we are all aware that tend to, I don't know, I should use the word discourage or frustrate people who are in the line of work, be a musician like you sing too, and then you into culture, is that the lack of support from us Liberians, the huge limitation in us in supporting our own. Uh, I would think that's something you experience, and have you been able to deal with it to continue with your work?
I mean, it's frustrating at times, but I think it's also I think that Liberians we don't have self-love. That's our problem.
Okay.
Because some Liberian would not even listen. Like I was in a car once and I heard I was in a car with a friend and she was talking to a Liberian sister of hers on the phone and they were talking about music. Some music we were trying to tell her. She was like, she don't want to hear it because it's Liberian music. It's not gonna be good anyways.
Wow.
Because right off the bat,
Hmm.
we block ourselves and say, you know what, nothing from Liberia is good right off the bat. So you already have that mindset. So of course, nothing gonna sound or look good to you. Unlike other cultures who love everything about themselves. And one thing, if you, even as a human being, as a single person, if you love yourself and have that confidence in yourself and just, when people see you, they're going to love you. They have no choice but to love you. But if you always bringing yourself down, or I don't like this, I don't want to wear my people, I'm this and that, of course nobody gonna care or love you. So it's the same thing with Liberia. And I think it's also lack of education. Most of the time we understand education the wrong way. People think once you went to school and get a degree and go back and get a degree, you are educated, but no, you are not. You just gained some knowledge that someone else put together. So I think lack of education is our problem because if we are educated about who we are and know exactly who we are, I think we will fall in love with who we are. And once we fall in love with who we are, we will be able to support who we are. So that's the problem. And I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to get there. Um, I don't think it's gonna be this generation, but I feel like we are doing our part right now, trying to make that clear, to educate people on how to love ourselves. Maybe the next generation will benefit from what we are trying to push now.
Yeah, thank you. It is important, that you said that. Myself, I joined Focus on Liberia a few months ago, and in our line of work, we always have to play a music or play a musical video to start our show. And so this became part of my work. And from the get-go, I see myself, playing music from other culture most of the time. And Dennis would tell me, say, look, you need to stop that. This is focused on Liberia. There are tons of Liberian music out there. You have to find them. And so of recent, I've been looking harder and harder, and I've come to realize there's too much out there from Liberians that we should be playing and we should be listening to. So I think you are right. In Liberia, yeah, Liberian music are now played, predominantly. Dennis Yah told me some time ago, in the 70s, the 80s, and 60s, when they're ready to play a Liberian music, they will announce that a Liberian. Why do you have to announce that? And and so you are right. We have to know who we are and appreciate who we are, and that must start with our culture because our culture make up who we are, and we here
Yeah,
focus
and
on
it's
Liberia.
like even with the
Mhm.
music, right? Liberian people say, "Oh, where my sound like you're beating okra," but I guarantee you 100%,
Mhm.
if we have a Liberian party,
Mhm.
play all the music in the world, they would dance.
Yeah.
But put on a where my music and see how Liberians gonna enjoy themselves with that music. But it's the same music they will criticize day and night when my music sound like okra. Because when my music is what make us unique, is what we gravitate towards, is what we are known for.
Hmm.
You put by my music on any Liberian, I don't care. They can be in a higher office, they will get up and they will dance to it because that sound is what we know and it's what make our music what it is. But it's the same sound that when we sit among other people that we will bring down. So Liberians, we got a long way to go. We are getting there in 2020. I want to believe. I think we are getting there.
All right. Thank you so very much. Let me read some comments, folks. In cyberspace, our phone lines have been open from the get-go. Those of you who want to call and participate, Mianta, if you want to call, the phone lines are open. We will be more than glad to take your phone call if you have a question or comment. We will appreciate that. The phone lines are open here. Let me pull up my screen here so I can read some comment quickly from our viewers. Uh, Let me start from the very beginning. This was when we didn't have sound. Uh, okay. Some of the very same Liberian women start bullying others when some of the same Liberian women start bothering others. Women who speak out about being raped. All right. So this is Mianta making the point that the very Liberians will bully other women or other people, yeah, other women who try to speak out about rape. She is right there. Uh, Mianta again, that's foolishness, that's nonsense and foolishness on the family part for not listening to their children. Mianta is saying it's complete nonsense and foolishness on the part of parents or family who are not listening to their children when they report rape. Let's see if we have any person on our phone line, or else we will get back to Ms. And then, okay, we don't have a caller here. So let me come back to you. Earlier during the show, I play a song. It's a cruise song. The songs that I like are the one that are done in any of our languages or tribes, I mean, or dialect to speak, yeah, dialect, you know, and I listened to it. I'm like, wow. Actually, Mianta, who play it on her Facebook page, and I listened to it and I asked her for it, and she sent it to me. And I listened to it. I just to realize that the guy who did the song is somebody that I know. And
Mhm.
I start loving Liberian songs more and more. And if only we all can do that, I think we will be supporting the work that you people do. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So for your work, I know you have been able to tell people, how do people access the work that you do, your music, even this new song you just released. There is a cry of a little girl somewhere. Where can we find it?
The song is called Rape. So
Okay.
if you go, my songs are everywhere. They are on YouTube.
Hmm.
You just type in the name MZ space MENNEH.
Hmm.
So it's Miss Menneh on every social and digital platform. The music will be there. I have them on Amazon, on iTunes, CD Baby, and many, many, many more platforms. So, but you just type in Miss Menneh, and it will, like, if you go to Google and just put in Miss Menneh, it will show you all the different platforms that you can find the songs on.
Okay. And we are coming to the end. We're going an hour. We planned this for an hour. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you wish to share, that you think our audience need to know about you, about Rave?
Well, I think we covered it all. I just,
Mm,
and once again, want to echo that, the parents, the family members of these rape victims need to be reporting those cases, because we need to be able to identify those individuals in our community so that they can do it to the next person. And also would like to just let the public know that I will be officially launching my Country Girl website um, July 24th, which is next week sometime on my birthday. But that day had been declared to be Country Girl Day. And Country Girl, the clothing line, is not just a clothing line. It's about also empowering those girls that grew up in the village, in the villages, that people classified them to be country, that they don't know anything, just giving them the courage and letting them know that no matter what part of the village you came from, you can do anything any other female can do in this world. So that clothing line will be launched on the 24th, and we are working hard to get few other country girls in Liberia, gave them hope on that day. Um, I don't know yet exactly what we're going to be doing for them, but I know that we are going to be doing something for some maybe um, rape victims, like single mothers, people that got raped and got pregnant, or teenagers that got raped and things like that. So we are going to be having some talk with them on the 24th of this month. So stay tuned for that, and get ready to go on the website and shop. Just know that every time you shop from Country Girl, you are helping some rape victim, a single mom, or some young girl out there in Liberia that don't have hope. So that's about it.
all right, thank you. And also, focus on Liberia. You are aware, we'll be having a virtual July 26th program, and we reach out to you, and you will be there. You want to tell people listening to us now why they should tune in?
Yeah, July 26th, right?
Yeah, July 26th.
Yeah. So everyone tune into Focus on Liberia, July 26th. They will be celebrating Liberia with a lot of great art. So you want to come out on that day to that platform to watch, and we can't physically get together. You will be able to watch a beautiful event that's gonna keep you enjoying the 26th. So make sure you tune in to Focus on Liberia, July 26th. I will also share that program on my personal page.
Thank you. So again, folks in cyberspace, this is how we will come to the end of this broadcast. We want to say thank you for following this broadcast. Yeah, I focus on Liberia. We educate, we elevate, and promote all things. I mean, all things Liberia, and that's why you just saying. We are trying to promote the culture of Liberia. We are trying to elevate the conversation in Liberia, the rape cases in Liberia. We have to elevate that so that people can know that this is a serious problem and we need to find a solutions as a country. July 26th, we will have a virtual July 26th program here. The independence celebration will be here live on Focus on Liberia. We have a couple of cultural artists that will be performing. We'll have the man D. Curtis. D. Curtis will be the MC. If you want to live, you want to tune in. We will also have some speeches. The theme for the Independence Day celebration is reassessing Liberia independence. Speakers will be telling you whether we are independent in the true meaning of independence, looking at our economy, looking at our culture, looking at everything that can help, to make a country what it's supposed to be. This evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, a brand new show called LRB Talks starts today. 7 p.m. live on Focus on Liberia. We have five outstanding sisters, ladies, who will be discussing all topics that you can think about. They will not be into politics that month, but they will talk social issues, controversial topics. They will be here. They will sometimes bring guests as well. You don't want to miss it. This is a power pack conversation on Focus on Liberia by all five of our sisters, and you don't want to miss it. So this is how we will come to the end. We want to say thank you again for following. We have a song here for you that say we are all Liberians, and Liberia is our home. Listen to that song for 1 minute and have a good day. Bye bye, Miss Nana. Thank you.
We all love you, man.